Happy Thursday, sinners. How we doing? Oh, I almost forgot it was Thursday as well today, and then I had a little bit of a panic moment around lunchtime. Um, hey, Aaron. Hey, Paul. Simon. I'm getting my words mixed up already. Thursday, what a concept. It's a bit fucked, really, isn't it? Hi, everybody. How we doing? What's going on? We are in week 18 of Forgive Me, Daddy, for I Have Sinned. Oh, where's my crucifix? So this week we have your regular old sins. Sorry, got to wear this. Piece of shit. And then we have Nate Bicey's going to join us later on to talk about body image and all of that mayhem that goes with it. Hey, Mark, how are you? Joining us all the way from England. Well done. So let's get on with your sins. You've been an interesting bunch this week, I have to admit. I've started reading them before we go live because it was just getting too messy. So my memory's like a sieve though, so you'll be fine. So sin number 1. Okay. I had a threesome and found out a couple of days later that they were brothers. Oh my goodness. Okay. So how did you not know they were brothers? How did you not guess that? Hold on. What does Karen say? Karen says, basically, Anna and I can measure our relationship in Sins Night. So you got together right as lockdown started, number 1. And yeah, I mean, you're living together now, right? That's pretty cute. Yeah, you fucked 2 brothers. Probably the sin's on them, not so much on you. I mean, incest is a game the whole family can play. Simon doesn't seem to think this is too bad. Aaron, it is definitely some porno type shit. See, this is a valid point. Most gay couples do look like brothers. I don't know what it is with us and like dating people that we look like. Aaron thinks this is a goal. Okay. Well, there's a number of gay brothers in the world, so make it your next goal. We're going to forgive your sin. You're fine. You're good. Next. I love the long ones, especially after a few wines. I bent a hot guy over in a club's bathroom and was smashing him so hard from behind he lost his footing and went ass up and landed on his drink glass. Oh, on the floor. Nasty. It smashed and cut his right ass cheek open, and we both had to leave the club because it started to bleed. Because it started bleeding. He lived, and I was left with a story to tell. Clubs really need to install a shelf in each cubicles to place your drinks and sniff your coke from. Well, I mean, yeah. Clubs do need to install their handy little shelves. Put your beverage on there. You know, whatever else you might need. Hold on. So you and your partner and you are quite different. Yes. Okay. So maybe I shouldn't make generalizing statements. My apologies. So switch to plastic glasses. I mean, they're probably a lot safer. Blaming it on the club is always the best idea. As long as it's not your fault, then fuck it. Who cares? How hard were you going at it for him to fall so hard that I can't read, my glasses are all weird. That he smashed a glass and cut open his asshole? I don't know. Clubs won't encourage it. Don't want to. Yeah, well, some of them do, some of them don't. It all depends on the club. Yeah. We're going to forgive you and just say maybe just don't take glassware into the bathrooms. And go to clubs where they've got a shelf. There you go. I had a guy nut in a shot glass full of tequila and I drank it. I don't know if that's a sin. I mean, it's definitely a kink, but I don't think it's a sin. Hi, Michael. Yeah, this isn't a sin. It could be fun. It could be entertaining. Is it a brag? It's a brag. But we're going to forgive you. Wasting good alcohol like that is a little bit sacrilegious. But that's fine. Oh, shit. I'm spilling red wine again. Simon asks, is Does this make the tequila taste worse or better? I don't know about you, but I'm pretty damn sure that tequila just tastes nasty in general. And I think that might be the option for question number 1. Tequila. Please. Oh my god, my spelling is horrendous. Having a messy night. I'm always having a messy night. Who am I kidding? There you go. Do you like tequila? Yes? No? Maybe not? I hate it. I'll still drink it. I mean, fuck, I'll probably drink most things. Hold on. Maybe this is a Cum Jar Guy ripoff. Maybe not. I still don't think it's a sin. Aaron says this isn't a waste of you. Okay, English Aaron. This isn't a waste if you like cum. No, it's not. But it's also not a waste if you like tequila. I think me topping up an already full glass is basically just how I do this show every single week. It's also like half a liter glass, which is quite useful. Oh God, another one. Okay. So I went on 2 dates in one day. Greedy. The first date took me to Brunetti's on Flinders Lane, which is a treat. The second date was an hour after, and I met him on Burke Street Mall and asked if he could surprise me and take me somewhere that does nice coffee. He takes me to Brunetti's again, that I went in earlier, and the waiter taking my order recognizes that I'm back again, but with a different guy, and verbally says aloud, "Oh, you're back again with a different guy this time." And I'm trying to play it cool and respond back that I hadn't been today, and he must have me confused with a different guy. Yet he kept insisting it was me. And I was even ordering my regular drink that I always get when I'm on dates. You have a regular drink that you always have when you're on dates? Probably, yeah, okay. I really wanted to get laid by this date as well, but the stupid waiter cock blocked me, and now this guy thinks I'm a serial data player and left the date early and blocked me on all social medias. Also, every time I go to Brunetti's on Flinders Lane, pre-lockdown, I always see staff whispering about me and telling jokes about how I always have a different boy every time I visit. I seriously have to find a new spot to take dates. Sucked in. The waiter's calling you out. Waiters don't sign non-disclosure agreements. No, they do not, and nor should they. You learn some really juicy shit when you're waiting tables. You give them 1 star on Facebook. The mistake here is having a dating spot. Agreed. Mix it up. Different ends of the city center, different places. The guy sounds like he had the correct opinion of you. Yeah, I would agree. If you've got 2 dates in one day, and then the wait staff at that one place know you for being a serial dater, you probably are a serial dater. So look, you do you. Not going to slut shame. That's your choice. We can't slut shame. Gav's here. So we're going to forgive you, I guess. I don't see the point of serial dating. It's not as much fun. Next one. Hold on, what have we got here? Here we go. Is that a big deal that he was on a date earlier? A bit dramatic. Maybe a bit dramatic, but like, yeah. Brunetti's coffee isn't that good. Maybe not. Anyway, next confession. Whenever a guy comes in my mouth, I like to play mama bird by pretending to regurgitate it and have them eat it out of my mouth like a baby bird. You need a whole lot of cheeses. What? Is it snowballing when you do that? Although you don't do the regurgitating part. That's a bit fucked. Hi, Jacob. Oh, this is some animalistic shit. It is. It's a little bit interesting. Anna's 2 favorite things. Well, she probably needs some new hobbies. Oh my god, that's rank. You know, if Chad's telling you it's rank, it's a whole new level of what the fuck. We are praying for you. Nate says, Gavin Peters, we spoke at your table manners. He has table manners? You house trained him? Since when? Yeah, the bird part is a bit that's a little bit odd, I think. But you know, I've seen weirder. So we've seen weirder on this live stream. So maybe he dresses up as a big bird as well, Brad. Maybe not. Who knows? But we're gonna forgive him because everybody is into some weird shit, whether they admit it or not. I still can't get past that bird part. Yeah, we're gonna move on. Too much. Oh, okay. Juicy. My stepbrother is also gay, and his boyfriend cheated on him with me. That's a sin. Especially if you knew. Like, there's one rule in life: you can do whatever you want in life, just don't hurt or annoy or don't hurt other people. Words, using them greats today. Is this? Hold on, what's this? Jackson says, "Is this the brothers from before?" There's a few gay brothers, I think, although these are stepbrothers, so not directly related. Simon's getting bored with all of these confessions. Bad brother moves. Agreed. You should definitely treat your brother a little bit better than that. Yeah. We're not going to forgive this sin, I don't think. We're just going to judge them and then move on. Was having sex and the guy told me to moan and scream his name if I wanted it harder. Totally had a blank and couldn't remember what his name was. We have all been there. Definitely all been there before. Chad's thinking about a threesome. All right, Chad, calm down. Hey, Joshy. I've seen this education film online. Oh, there's a lot of education here. There's a lot of weirdness too. I would have slept with a stepbrother. What a fucking mood. We have all forgotten names of people that we're having sex with. I think it's just part of the journey of being a homosexual. Some people don't even ask names. I don't know. Like, yeah, fuck it. Why not? Although maybe you wanted it harder, so who hasn't forgotten a name? I think everyone. We're gonna do a quiz. Hold on, where is it? I'm gonna find it, and then I guarantee you, everyone has. Have you? Typing, and then I'm during sex. I have. And if you say no to this poll, you're probably just a liar. Because, or you maybe don't have sex. Where is it? You've got the name. There you go. Publish. I'm trying to multitask, people. It's not working. Joel. Hi, Joel. Joel says I've forgotten my own name a few times. Yeah, I think I can't forget a name if you don't get it in the first place. Okay, kinky. Who asks for names without signing a contract? You sound like you're trying to type on a keyboard. I've got a wireless mouse and a keyboard, but it's an old keyboard, whatever. Look, we're going to forgive this one. We've all done it. We can't judge. Most of you don't even ask names by the sound of it. So my first time to Barber, I watched my best friend face fuck a twink in the dance floor, literally a foot away from me, and I've never felt so close to him. Definitely too close for both our likings. I think that's what Barber's all about. I know we don't do brand names here, but you know what? Barber's a fun party. And you get it. Yeah. Your friend sounds like he was having a great time. I'm going to forgive this sin. Who's this, Craig? Is that an ice cream? I can't tell. Twinkle Barber. I actually took Mac to Barber once, and he was shocked. It was not his cup of tea, and he left shortly after. But it was a good time. We're gonna forgive this sin, and we're gonna move on. Oh, Brad says that you should probably just join in. So, I can't. All right. So next confession. Hey, Daddy. So I slept on the guy's couch after going to a Melbourne club. He lives in South Yarra. And the week after, I discovered I had gotten crabs. I know it wasn't from having sex because I hadn't had sex in 8 to 9 months. And when I talked to him, he cracked it at me and blocked me. Can you get crabs from a sofa? Maybe. I didn't realize you could, but I don't think maybe the sin's having crabs on your couch and not dealing with the problem. How do you deal with crabs? Obviously, that's something I don't know. Crabs are so 70s, but they still exist. They could very well be bed bugs. That's fine. The real sin here is not having sex in 8 to 9 months. Agreed. We're going to forgive you, and we're going to move it along. About 2 years ago, I had a reoccurring hookup who to this day is the best sex of my life. However, I disliked, if not hated, the person during it, but really got off on the domination and degradation. Did I say that right? I think I did. And still don't know how to take that. Oh, okay. That's an interesting one. So you can obviously separate your like for a person for your desire to sleep with them. Hold on. Shannon says shaving your pubic hair will not rid you of crab infestations. It's great to know. He's just insecure STIs and nothing to not rationally deal with. Also, crabs are death wish. Okay, well, you can shampoo them in. You were fucking someone, but you hated them. I mean, good sex is good sex. You can't pass that up. Aaron says, sounds like a real fantasy. I think this is a treat. If you can, separate your like for a person for your sexual interest. I'm very handsy today. Sexual interest with somebody. Go for it. Yeah. You obviously enjoyed the domination and degradation. So maybe you were the dominant one and you liked treating them like that. Chad's been there. Okay. Well, Chad, you do you, honey. Get it. That's fine. I think there's no sin, I don't think. You're fine. Hold on, what does Brad say? Brad says, hate fucking is the tits. Just make sure you aren't letting it affect you negatively. Yeah, okay. Mark, who cares if you hate each other? Just fuck. Wow, you lot are on brand tonight. An absolute treat. Anyone want to dominate and degrade me? I'm pretty sure you degrade yourself enough, Aaron. Kaz, Chad Michael, is there any way you haven't been? I'm not even going to get involved in that. Next confession. I broke out of stage 4 Melbourne quarantine and traveled halfway across the city to get a blowjob. You fucking idiot. This annoys me. And I think it annoys, yeah, Simon says no, bad gay. Very bad gay. Light up the pitchforks, motherfuckers. It's really irresponsible. Like, I get that we're all a little bit lonely and we want to hang out and we want to see each other and get blowjobs from random strangers. It just really fucks me off. The more we do shit like that, the longer we get stuck in lockdown. Nate says selfish, not on, sin. We do not support this judgment. We do not support judgment. Grow up. Not forgiven. This gay is cancelled. You com cobblers ain't worth a pandemic. Oh my god, what an idiot. Who done it? Shame, shame, shame. Look, no deal. You're a fucking idiot. Just stay home. Go for walks with your friends, do all that kind of shit. Just masturbate. Buy a dildo. Buy a flashlight. I don't care. Just stay home. Because more and more people in the 20s to 35 age brackets are getting it. And some of them aren't surviving. And you could have just taken it halfway across the city. Fuck it. Anyway. Keep it in your pants for a few weeks, boys. It's not hard. It's really not fucking hard. Next confession before I go on a big tangent about the quarantine. I have a fetish for pimple bliss. And we're going to reset, and we're good. I have a fetish for pimples and blister popping. I once had a guy squeeze a massive blister and rub the pus on my dick and use it as lube to give myself a hand job with. Pus is just, no. Sam's just been sick. Look, guys, we try not to judge kinks and fetishes in this environment, but that's a unique one. Great, my work team's here. Hey, Beck. This does not sound sanitary. No, it doesn't. This is fucked up. Bye, next. Wow, okay, that got way more intense than I expected. Lord, give me strength. I'd rather stay in 2020 than read that again. Agreed. No, thank you. I'm done. It's fucked. This is I know a fair few people who like to pop their boyfriend's pimples, but never to the extreme of using it as a lubricant. Oh, great. Someone's finally shut chat up. Very few things make me want to purl, but I'm struggling to keep my breakfast in. Sorry, Mark. Sorry to ruin your entire day. Infection control. Audrey, there must be something. Audrey's a nurse. Love her. There must be something to do with bacteria and grossness when it comes to pus. Like, you just... We're just gonna leave it. We're not forgiving this. We're just gonna move on to the next one because that is cooked. Anyway, next. I druggedly hooked up with my ex and caught herpes off him. Congratulations. Audrey says yes, there is something to do with bacteria. Staph. Oh, you can get a staph infection from pimple pus. Okay. Delicious. Isn't that just great? You hooked up with your ex. I think if you hook up with your ex, you deserve herpes. Am I the only one? No? Okay. I love Audrey. Audrey's divine. First time doing poppers, I thought you had to drink it, not sniff it. Did we do this one last week? I'm pretty sure we did this one last week. Anyway, first time doing poppers, I thought you had to drink it, not sniff it. Ended up vomiting everywhere and had to be taken to the hospital to be treated for ingestion of a poisonous substance. Yes, look, don't drink poppers. It's literally, it'll burn your insides. It'll fuck you up. Alyssa, didn't you do this once? I have a faint memory of someone doing this at some point. I'm dressed as a pope. That's because this is confessions. Welcome. And then we're going to rush these along because Nate's joining us in about 5 minutes. I can see him on the camera. Hi, Nate. Okay, I have a crush on my friend's boyfriend. My friend has cheated on him multiple times, so obviously he doesn't care. I think I'm going to try and sleep with the boyfriend. I don't think you should. Yeah, no. Yeah, he might not care, but does it make it all right? I don't think this... You're right, Nate. I think we repeated this last week. But in summary, don't sleep with your mate's boyfriends. Fair? And now, okay, so great. I'm glad Shannon agrees. I think last week we had a bit of argument about this. At least ask your friend. Okay, here comes the arguments. Shannon says don't do it. Aaron, don't be a shit friend or just sleep with them both. I mean, threesomes are a group activity. They're good fun. And if everyone's a consenting adult, then why the fuck not? What does Brad have to say? 2 wrongs don't make a right. Do it honestly and with integrity. Ooh, Bradley. Someone's getting a bit deep for a Thursday. If he jumped off a cliff, would you follow just because he did it? To be honest, if I'm on a sesh with Chad and Chad was like, let's jump off a cliff, I would probably jump off a cliff as well. That's how, yeah. Don't sleep with your boyfriends. Simple as that, people. So we've got daddy issues. I'm about to bring Nate on. Nate's going to have a wee chats with us. Where are you? There we go. Hey, Nate. How you doing, babe?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. So welcome to... This is the second time we've done Daddy Issues. So for everyone watching at home, Daddy Issues, we pick a topic every week and we have a good yarn about it. Everyone sends in their experiences or questions. Oh, God. Brad, don't push people off cliffs. And then we just have a good old yarn about it. So Nate has been amazing and put himself forward to have a chat about body issues. So thanks for coming and jumping online, Nate, on a Thursday night after you finish work.
Okay. Well, I just finished, but...
So normally are you at home drinking wine watching this?
Normally yeah, pretty much. Usually the wine can start a lot earlier. It just can't this week.
Gotta behave. Work's a beautiful thing. It pays the bills, but that's about it. So you put your hand up to kind of talk about body issues and your experience. So Aaron says hi, by the way. I don't know if you can see his comment. He says hi, Daddy. So tell me, like, what made you want to talk about this topic?
I guess it's based on my own personal experiences, and kind of the way I went through like a rather rough personal time health-wise. So I actually was quite sick, and had like parts of my immune system as parts of surgery and things to try and make myself get better. And as a result of, well, look, quite serious at times, medical treatment and that, I was about probably, it'd be about 7 years ago now. I was down to about 46, 47 kilos. I suppose even if you compare Greg and I, we are probably not far off the same height, but we actually have like completely probably different body makeups. And that's probably the same for anyone that's online at the moment. And I guess in the gay world as well, there's a bit of a stigma about like, if you're overweight, then you just need to exercise and eat right and you're going to lose it. And then if you're small, then you just need to go to gym and you need to eat more and stuff. And it's not always kind of that way. So from being like 46 kilos when I was sick to where I am now has been like a huge progressional step for me. And you, as part of it, you've got to see, and about that time I was probably coming into the scene as well. So I've seen a lot of different aspects of hearing that feedback from whether it's a friend, a partner, a complete stranger in public. You hear those comments, and unfortunately we do judge people on like as a book cover or whatever that saying is. So people don't always understand like the backstory about people, and why certain people will feel certain ways, and then how to try and achieve what you want to achieve as yourself. And it really needs to start from yourself, and how you can do it. And even in goal setting and things like that, you need to be realistic in what those goals are, because are you going, like, we idolize people because, well, look, let's be honest and make fun of it at the same time. There's probably a lot of thirsty people, as the word says, on here at the moment. So we do follow people on Instagram and Facebook and stuff, and we add random people because we think they're attractive or they're hot, or they might even be like a goal that you want to get to. But when I'm 46, 47 kilos, whatever I was, to where I am now, you can't change that overnight. So you need to be realistic and go kind of, where do I want to be in 3 months' time? Where do I want to be in 6 months' time? And there's so many avenues for you to get to, as well. So when you are hearing that negative feedback as well, it really depends on, in some ways, why. It needs to start with yourself. So why do you want to change? And there's reasons why you should change. So there's because you're not happy with who you are, that you want to make a significant change. There was my aspect in my life where, like, completely medical, we're talking like finding cancer within my body and having parts of my immune system taken out and things like that. So you've got a medical aspect, and there's lots of different reasons for medical aspects. So there's so many different reasons. And then you've also got, and Greg's been nice enough to show me some of the questions and stuff that have been submitted, and we can talk about those obviously as we get through tonight as well. But there's also, I guess, a certain part where when people are providing you feedback, whether it's nice or not nice, there's two different levels of it. There's someone being a bitch, more or less, or a prick, and saying, hey, you're fat, or you're too skinny, or you're too short, or whatever. And that's just them being rude and mean as such. But then there are people also who love you and care for you, and sometimes are saying it because you do need a change in your life as well.
Yeah.
So it kind of starts with, in some ways, your reason why. So why does this change need to happen? If it does need to happen at all.
Yeah, and I think for some people that change does need to happen, but also there's others where it doesn't. And I think our ideals of the perfect body size are warped very much by social media and marketing. Where we're kind of pushed in the direction of this is how everyone has to look and this is how everyone should be, and that's incredibly unhealthy. I mean, your experience is very specific in that it was out of your control to a degree. Like, you were ill, and you got to that point. How did it might be a hard question, but how did that make you feel in terms of people were making these comments? And it must have been the last thing on your mind, right? You're trying to get better. People are saying you're underweight, or
yeah, you're getting comments like you're underweight, and even now, like I know with my close friends, for example, and if anyone hasn't noticed me, and I don't know if you can see it on camera, I have like a natural shake in my body. So when people see something that is significantly wrong with someone, they, I suppose, as I said, judge a book by its cover, and will say something without knowing that real background story. So when you want to recognize what that is, and that you kind of need to block out what people are saying and what you're seeing online, and draw down to, well, what is your why, and how realistically can you fulfill that reason why?
Yeah, and Aaron's got a good point here as well. He said the scene is a hard place to grow up in due to so much expectations to have muscles, and if you don't have muscles or you're not a twink, you aren't pretty. It's an interesting statement to make, and I think we'll jump into some of the things that were sent in this week. So the first one says, to start, I don't think my experience with body image issues are anything unique. Saying that, I hate what I see in the mirror. I hate my body, and I see myself as completely unfuckable. I'm not obese. I'm not even really fat. I get really frustrated when people say just diet or just exercise, which is polar opposite of what they might have said to you, Nate. Because more than anything, I want to love the body I have rather than change it so other people like it. Interesting.
It is very interesting.
Yeah. I mean, this person, obviously, thank you to whoever sent this in, but obviously they're experiencing, well, I would say the opposite of what you've experienced, and saying that their body isn't as skinny or as muscular as what people are expecting. And it's interesting, they say that people have made the comment of just diet or just start exercising, which it isn't a solution for everybody or every scenario, right?
100%. Like everyone who is online at the moment as well needs to realize that every person put on earth is like an individual person itself. We're all made up different. We all have different things that no one's ever going to be 100% like happy with their whole appearance. Realistically, there's always going to be something that you want to improve or you want to change, but at the same time, you have to think about and get advice and speak to people as well. You don't have to go through these things by yourself. So whether it is a friend that you can confide in that might be better at a certain aspect, you might know a personal trainer who can give you like a program or something that you can start off on, or but having like a great network of people. And I know like after I broke up from my long-term relationship, like the friends I have now are absolutely incredible, and we can speak openly to it. But not everyone does have that. But there are great services out there as well, where if you go and speak to your GP, there's even free services where you can go and speak to like a dietitian, and there's areas, and don't get me wrong, like I'm happy with my progress and where I've come, but I've learned from a lot of different people, and not everything that you see online as well. Like online can be a great resource, but it doesn't mean it's correct. And you need to take your own personal circumstances into each situation as well. So because your friend is eating, I don't know, and they're measuring every meal and things like that, what they're doing for them is maybe more suited to them. So whilst you might be able to replicate things as well, you need to find out exactly what your body needs and what you can do as well. And then you also have your own life that you want to live as well. So there's a certain point about you identifying like how you can get it to work for you. Because people have different work schedules, people have different requirements, they've got different finances, so maybe they can't afford to buy the same foods and things, but maybe you're not a good cook. But by starting to speak to people and explain like your circumstance and try, like one of the best things in life is trying something. There's never really a failure to the point that it's more a lesson that you've learned of a wrong way to go about it. So if you try something and it doesn't work, then that's fine. You've learned one way that it didn't work for you. Then we can try something else. So yeah, like whether you're wanting to lose weight, maybe you're unhappy with your skin complexion, whatever it might be, like there's lots of different aspects where there are great resources around. There's great people in the community as well that can talk to you and help you as well. Like Greg, well, obviously different circumstances, but Greg and I, yes, you usually would see us out in Melbourne and whatever over the weekend, but at the same time, like there's a lot of people, especially since Greg started this, that are on here regularly and they have their own little area where they're a bit of like a subject matter expert. And I think most people on this call would prefer to help someone than for them to sit there alone as well.
100%. I think it's and that was kind of the aim with the daddy issues aspect is, you know, there's a lot of different people and who watch this every week religiously, thank you, who come from different backgrounds and have different experiences. And I think for this specific story though, I think the crucial part that I picked up was they really want to love the body that they have rather than being pressured into changing it for somebody else. And for me, that strikes a chord because at the end of the day, as you said, Nate, like everybody's built in a different way and everyone's bodies and things react differently. So for somebody to get that confidence in themselves, it is a process. It does take a lot of time. And whether that's because you feel like you're too skinny or you have a big nose or something similar, we all have those intricacies about us that we might not be happy with. And I think it's a process of kind of understanding that some things you can change and some things you can't, and understanding what you can and can't change, and also why you're changing them. If you're making changes to your life for other people, to me it's fairly toxic behavior because the change should be for you, for your health, for your benefit, for your well-being, not to please other people. And I think within our community, we have a big issue with that, and that we have to change, who we are, how we act, what we say or what we do to please other people rather than being confident in ourselves. So we've got a few things to get through. Sorry.
I think as John just put in, it's hard, especially in the gay world, and it kind of is, I suppose, to a certain extent. And I was speaking to a few people about it today as well. And like, I suppose in some ways we have less commitment. So unfortunately, say for a male or a female, more so in the straight world, like the world says you kind of get married, you have kids and things like that. So they've got an added level of responsibilities that accumulate in their life, sometimes more than what we do in our communities. So when you are seeing all these people who look perfect and whatever on social media, like, it doesn't help your confidence, it doesn't help your issues as such. So you need to, in some ways, own your flaws, own what you love about yourself as well, because that's really, really important. But you also need to then kind of work out, well, what can I change? I can't change everything in one go. If there's something that you can commit to and you can change, and that's not just like body image, that can be a lot of our general life and how we want to be accepted into the world we live in, whether it's gay, straight, bi, whatever.
Agreed. Yeah, and you've got to do the process of figuring out what you want to change and what you can change, and make that process. The next submission says, since I stopped cheerleading and rugby, I've grown pudgy as fuck and lost all my body confidence. Made worse by a terrible experience at a local gym and now isolation. My few gay friends have seemingly perfect bodies, what a mood, and make me feel like the ugly duckling. I do a lot to compensate for the way I look, but lack confidence. How do y'all seem so confident all the time? I haven't heard y'all in a while. It's an interesting question. Where does your confidence come from?
Probably confident-wise, I think it grows from kind of you accepting yourself over time, and you ending up loving who you are as a person. And like, there's 100% been times in my life where I haven't liked the person who I am, or haven't even liked the person in a situation, whether it was a 5-minute situation or like a year, 12 months, 18 months, however long, in this case, since this person maybe has stopped cheerleading and rugby. But some people, as Gavin said, you fake it till you make it. But if you can really, and we do a lot of goal setting in what I do as a career, but if you work out, okay, I want to lose 10 kilos or I want to lose 5 kilos or whatever it might be, then set yourself like a realistic time frame to do it. Don't go, okay, by summer, especially at the moment, we're all I'm assuming everyone on here is from Melbourne at the moment. I probably shouldn't, but like, it's really hard at the moment. Like, you're trapped inside, you're allowed to exercise outside for an hour. So even like, I walked to Faulkner Park today, like the walk there loses me 15 minutes before you get there. So like, saying I want to have that summer body this year is probably not going to be realistic. But if you set yourself a goal, even making like tiny goals to get there. So don't start with the weight, or whether you want to gain weight, lose body fat or whatever. But if you go, okay, I'm going to start by doing 1 hour of exercise 3 times a week. And then when you start doing that, say 2-3 times in a row, and you've achieved that, then move it up and go, okay, next week I'm going to do 4 days. And then if you make those tiny little steps as you make like progress towards what your goal is, it makes life a lot easier. And like, I used to be a swimmer competitively, and I would stand there like literally before like marshalling to competitive swim, and I would stand there like this holding my body because I didn't want people to see it, and like that wasn't even in the gay world. But if you can make those tiny little goals along the way, and as you start achieving them, you'll find that your confidence slowly grows. But don't compare yourself to your friends. They have different genetics, as you've got up on screen at the moment. There's different metabolisms, different lifestyles. Like, even I try and watch what I eat a little bit, and I have to for health reasons. but you also have to accept there's times you can't. So like tonight, I literally was scoffing down pizza as Greg's like telling me to log on, because that's my only option tonight to have something to eat. So you can't crucify yourself on having to do something. And I know, like, and I was saying to Gavin earlier today, like, and I won't name who it was, but someone I knew a while ago, we were coming home from like, or we were going away or coming home, and we had like a 4-hour drive on a Good Friday, and we stopped in this country town, and the only thing open was Nando's. And they're like, oh, I can't eat that because it's too fatty. And like, I completely respect them in that, but there's also no point in you not eating at all when like Nando's does still have salads and things like that. So like, you can't also punish yourself. And I think that's probably the most important part missing out of this, and where a lot of people in our community go wrong, is people go, I'm doing this crazy diet, or I'm not eating for a week, or I'm not going to eat for a few days, or
week at a time, right?
yeah, like you've got to live your life a little bit as well, and like you've got to make those choices. Like, there's a medication I've been recommended to take, and I've chosen and made that decision for myself that I'm not going to take it based on the impact it will have in my life. But you do need to have a little bit of fun with it. With your bad experience at the gym, I think I've been a member of 5 or 6. I'm a member at the moment of Fitness First, not trying to promote them or anything, but the only reason I was a member is because I travel all over the country. I work weird hours at times. I can go because they're 24/7. They're in multiple states. It's the only reason I'm with them. It is probably a fairly unhealthy gym, especially in the gay community as well, because there is those image, and it does suck into the gay scene a lot as well. But there's a certain aspect of, if you're not happy with that gym, try something else. I went to MSAC here for a while I could. And I know that's hugely expensive, and like $190 a month or something like that compared to other gyms, but it was an amazing experience doing it. So if you're not happy with your gym, try different things. It doesn't have to be a gym. It could be starting off going for a walk. It could be there's dance, there's F45, there's all these different brands. So don't just let one bad experience kind of tarnish what you want to do either.
Yeah, I have had some rough instances, like rough experiences with gyms, and I did a similar thing where, I went to a couple to see how I felt, and everyone who knows me or has me on social media has seen the endless amounts of F45 posts that I make. And it's because I found like a supportive environment where I could have fun, dance like a slut, and do a workout all in the same place. And so it's really important to if you're having that experience at a gym, go to a different fucking gym. Like, you don't need to stick there. I also want to pull out this person. They say that they lack confidence, and where does people's confidence come from? I think Zach made a really good comment. He said, confidence comes from understanding yourself. Physical aesthetics have minimal bearing on confidence. Again, that depends on who you are and your experiences. But if you know who you are and what you stand for and what your characteristic traits are, also have, but also how you respond to situations, you'll find to be more confident. And I think that's really important. Something that I learned a long, long time ago is we're often much more critical of ourselves than other people are. We pull out our own faults and flaws a lot more. And something to really have a think about is taking a step back from what we see about ourselves and look at more than just our appearance or our weight or how much hair we have or how much money we earn. And, there's beautiful things about everybody, whether that's be your personality, your sense of humor, your body, your hairstyle, whatever that might be. It really does count to take some time to kind of figure out what you love about yourself, because there's going to be something. It might not be a huge list of stuff, but there's definitely going to be things about yourself that you enjoy and that you can really rely on to kind of hold yourself up a little bit more. So we'll move on to the first question. We've got a few of them. So, Nate, what are your thoughts on people saying, "Oh, would you would be so handsome if you dieted, or you'd be so handsome if you changed X about yourself"?
For starters, don't change unless you want to change. But that's within reason as well. So, in saying like don't change because someone else is like, there are reasons why sometimes you do have to change. And I think before we even like break down this like statement question, whatever it is, you do need to recognize that there are some times when you do need to change. So when like a medical professional is telling you you need to change this for your health reasons, or whether it's a friend or a family member,
weight, right? You better lose.
Or drink less on a Thursday night, or whatever it might be. But like,
okay, we're done.
But and you've also got those loved ones who, if they're recognizing a problem that you have, whether it's a body image thing or you drink too much, you're doing drugs, whatever it might be, you do need to respect that sometimes someone telling you isn't them being a cunt. It's them literally telling you because you aren't doing so well in life at the moment and you do need to make a significant change. So I think that's a really valuable statement to put before like we break this down. But we see this kind of stuff on like dating apps, we see it in clubs, we see it through lots of different like avenues as well. And don't change unless you want to change. Like, I don't know, I've got blonde hair at the moment. And when we were talking about it with our group, everyone's like, there are a couple of people like, yeah, do it. And then a few people like, no. But I did it because I wanted to do it in the end. Like, and I know that's just hair color and it can change back, but you need to block out their crap.
Like the decision, reasoning behind you making that decision or making that change is so crucial. But also, you know, as you rightly pointed out, like if this person is saying, you know, there's a difference between someone saying, hey, look, I think for your health, maybe we should, you know, look at dieting or doing something like that. There's a big difference between that and saying, oh, you'd be so much hotter if you drop 10 kgs, or you'd be so much hotter if you put on 10 kgs of muscle, right? Like that's a judgment based purely on your appearance rather than on your health, I think.
Yeah. And I suppose in some ways, you can call people out on their behavior and what they're saying as well. Yeah. Thanks, Aaron. I am having a breakdown. No,
sorry, I just had
to ask my friends, they will say it. I was having one yesterday, but like in some ways, you just gotta block these people out. They're toxic people. They could be really jealous and horrible or people. It may just be that they've got nothing else to say. And you need to, really bother about you and working out what you want to do as a person. And there are always going to be haters. And to quote a member of our community who lives here in Melbourne, and I don't know if you've ever seen it, but we actually use it as part of our training on presentations at work, is Joel Creasy did a opinions-based like comedy debate thing on TV a few years ago, and he said in it, which is probably highly referable in our community, like Taylor Swift wrote a song about it. That's his exact words in it. Like some of it you do have to shake off. There are assholes in the world. I've probably been an asshole. Like we've all probably said something, whether we intended to or not. Sometimes we think it's funny. But don't change for people. Stay true to who you are. That's the ultimate thing. But in saying that, if there is weird stuff about you as well, like make fun of it. And then that's one of the parts that I think has helped me accept who I am as well, is like, as I said before, I've got this, like, we call them nana shakes, but it's a bit almost like Parkinson's in some ways, and I shake. So we could be sitting at like a venue on Chapel Street and someone says like, oh, who's going to get shots? And they're like, Nate has. And they're like, oh, hold on, why is he carrying him? He's going to be like this everywhere. Like, poke fun at your own flaws as well. Like,
humor is a beautiful medicine, right?
Yeah,
it helps kind of get past a lot of the bullshit that kind of goes on. The next question we have: do you think some of the body issues that we experience are specific just to the queer community?
I would agree with this. Not everything. I think everyone has issues right across the world, and I don't think Western culture is immune to it either. I do think it is a stronger issue with where we're from, and we judge people on body image or even what they're wearing. And I guess in some ways, if you look at people who probably identified really early on in their life that they were gay, has probably taken heat when they were in school from the straight world that they were gay or whatever. Or I can tell you, if I was wearing this pink shirt back in high school, like I would have been ripped to shreds for it. But whether, like, I don't know where it starts from, whether it is because a lot of people maybe were picked on in high school because of sexuality or something like that. Maybe that's where it kind of has started, and then we've had this toxic environment where we've kind of grown in it. But it is a problem that is across everywhere. I think it's highlighted and magnified in our world. That being said, even if you go on like a state by state basis in Australia, Melbourne would be up there with one of the worst, but even
Sydney.
I think Sydney.
Everyone knows Sydney is the expectation there in terms of how you look. I've spent a bit of time there, and I've always just felt it's a lot more pronounced, right? Like I like to think that in Melbourne, we are a little bit more open to different body types and different body images. And I never felt that when I went to Sydney. So perhaps that's just my experience, but I would agree Sydney is definitely, you can experience a lot more pressure there to conform in a certain way.
It's a really weird thing to say as well, because like at the start of this year, and I was petrified to do it at first, but I walked around Midsummer in Speedos and don't even know where I got the confidence from to do that day with the Mina. And then whatever it was, a month later, I'm at Mardi Gras, and I walked in, virtually nothing as well, for day wash up there. And I had in my head this whole time, and I was almost like panicking at this hotel before we had to go and Marshall. But it was actually a lot easier at Mardi Gras walking around, and it really confused my mind that I had Sydney's even more toxic. But I didn't actually experience that on that day, whether it was Mardi Gras or not. I don't know, but
I think it's because I am, for anyone who also knows me, I basically spend all of my Mardi Gras mostly naked, in some way, shape, or form. Mardi Gras is a different. For me, it's a different kind of experience where everyone is welcome. Like for instance, last year I was on a float driving down the street in literally silver hot pants and a harness. So like Mardi Gras is a different kind of. I think Gavin said the same thing. Mardi Gras is the exception to the rule. Amina, oh hi Amina. Amina's back. I'll move on to the next question. So popular culture seems to always stereotype gays as being ripped and muscular or big and funny. Have you experienced that kind of stereotype, and do you think it's bullshit?
I don't think it's bullshit. I think it is amplified by social media.
Yeah.
100%. And I don't think there would be anyone on this call even that like can't agree with it. Like, I'm sure every single person has put on like a filter when they've posted something on to Instagram alone. So I think there is definitely like a culture for it. We also generally, I think, in our community have more time than maybe the straight community have, in terms of a lot of us don't have children and things like that. We've got our career, we've got our friends, we still interact with family and things like that, but we can spend a bit more time on ourselves as well. So I think in some ways, yes, they are ripped and muscular, but there's also a whole lot of different people, different types of bodies. Like, I walked into years ago now, this more or less sex night somewhere in the city, and was absolutely horrified because it wasn't me. And I walked in, look, we were dragged there from some other night, and went there just being told it was a gay club. And I've walked into the toilet, and there's this guy like laying in a pool being peed on, and like, that's not really me as a person. So like, there's not just that stereotype of you've got to be ripped and muscular or you've got to be this, but I think it's easier in the gay world, especially if you look at, say, the pretty people of Instagram and those that have thousands and thousands of followers and are being endorsed by all these brands and have free clothes coming to their house and free makeup and all this kind of stuff. They can make themselves look a lot better. They're then earning, in some ways, like unofficially money, in terms of like they're being provided assets. So it can become easier for them as well. And I even joke, like, I've got friends up in Queensland, and when they're having like fun and like talking about bodies and stuff like that, and I'm like, well, you guys have nothing to do up there. Like, everything closes so early. You meant to be like ripped and everything. And like, it comes back to, though, you got to work out who you are and what you want to do about it. There's people who enjoy being a certain size. We can see in the comments, there's certain like people coming up, but there's some fantastic people, especially in the Melbourne scene as well. Like, yes, on a Saturday night, you could probably, or let's not say probably, you would find Greg and I both probably topless in a certain nightclub. But at the same time, like, we will be there and like pick someone up out of the gutter if need be. And Mina, I don't know how many times on a Sunday, like, we've destroyed ourselves probably on a Saturday night, but we will still be there. And I know at the start of this year, like, I had a situation where I was quite upset, and Amina literally made my day from it. So it's not about the way you look and stuff. By all means, if you see me in a horrible outfit, then like, pull shit on me. Like, there's some things that, yeah, I should never have worn that and things, but you don't need to be ripped and stuff.
But yeah, there's been some outfits where I look back on them and I'm like, oh, was that a good idea? And then I think, well, I've had an amazing night and I've met amazing people and I've spent some time with people that I really love, and it doesn't matter how you dress. So the next question is, social media has a huge impact on how I see myself. All I ever saw was fit men with abs on. So all I ever saw on social media was fit men with abs. Do you see social media as a big impact to your body image, and how do you deal with that?
Social media, and I've said it multiple times, obviously does have a huge impact, but you also can't believe everything that is not just on social media, but media full stop. Like, if you buy a new packet of underwear, for example, that body on that package is going to look amazing because that's what's going to sell the item.
Exactly.
And it's the same on social media. And I'm not going to call people out either, but you can't guarantee that what you're seeing on social media is 100% true. And
Yeah.
if you, by all means, I'm not saying don't have cosmetic surgery, don't change stuff, but I know there is multiple people on my own Instagram that I follow that their abs are not real. They're inserted. That they have had liposuction, that they have had their ears pinned back or their nose done or whatever it is. Like, that's your choice. And by all means, if that's what you want to do to feel happy in yourself, then go ahead and do it. But don't believe everything's easy to come by and that happens. Like, some people make huge sacrifices. There's people that will, especially with like the huge party nights in Melbourne, they'll go out on those huge party nights, but they'll eat lettuce only for like 2 weeks prior. I know I joked about it leading into Mardi Gras, but like, it does have a huge impact.
I'm normally too busy and wasted. It's not because I don't want to. I think so. For me, it's quite interesting. I relate to this quite a lot. Probably about a year ago, I came to the realization that all I was ever seeing on my social media was very similar. You know, it was the models, it was people with abs, it was people who, you know, worked out 6 times a week. And it was having a negative impact on my self-confidence and my body image. And so one of the easiest steps that I've done, and I highly recommend it to anybody else, is unfollow. Like, if you are following a huge amount of accounts of pretty people or people who have abs or they're ripped or they're weightlifters or whatever it is, and that's having a negative impact on how you see yourself, the simple fact is you might as well just unfollow them because it's not leading to a positive experience for you. And crucially, social media is the highlights reel. We only ever post the best of our lives on social media. It's not there for us to, you know, go, oh, I had a really shit day today, because we don't do it. No one ever does that. So, you know, just remember what you're seeing is the absolute best of that person's life, not the reality of it.
I think that plays a big role in where we are today, not just body image wise, but if you're struggling with COVID at the moment and being isolated and that, like, it's done amazing for my social media, the amount of people I'm just like, unfollow.
Yeah.
Because yes, you've got to respect everyone has a different view and stuff, but if something's unhealthy and is making you feel worse, especially when you're isolated at the moment, then remove yourself from that situation. And probably going back to that, like your friends and stuff before, if it's that you just don't feel as pretty as your friends, then that's kind of a bit of you that has to change or accept yourself. But if it's your friends or the people you're hanging around with do it, remove yourself out of that toxic environment.
Yeah, 100%. Do you think that social media advertising and similar lack a diverse range of body types? I would say a solid yes. But do you agree?
Yeah, I would agree. And it's kind of frustrating as well. And I don't know, or like Canadian Drag Race ain't exactly spectacular, but they made a significant point of in their, I can't remember what they're called, like their
Pit crew.
What are they? Pit crew of making someone that didn't have the washboard abs, wasn't like had that more dad bod as it's referred to, and the gay community has absolutely ridiculed them in Canada for doing that. So it's weird as well, because when you see a stage like that, which is for our community, and they've gone to the efforts of making that change, and then people are throwing it back like in their face, it's hard to, I suppose, make that progress to keep going and moving forward.
Yeah. And I think it's it reflects on the community as a whole. If a company or if a environment tries to make that change and that gets ridiculed for it, because in reality we sit here and go, why are we not represented? You know, if we look at gay versus straight portrayal on TV, for years, and trans people as well, for years it's been, well, we aren't portrayed correctly on TV. It's exactly the same for body types and ethnicities as well. And that, TV and advertising and marketing is all very much whitewashed, and also body image, body shape washed as well. Like, it's all very much the same. So yeah, we need to take a look at ourselves. If we're part of that group that are ridiculing them, we should be supporting that and agreeing, right?
And even have a conversation. If you have, like, there's some amazing Melbourne photographers around who like do take photos, and a lot of them will take a photo of anyone. You don't have to have a six-pack. If you want to do a model shoot, like, jump on the phone or message them or whatever. Most of them, like, most people have paid to get those photos taken themselves anyway. But if you actually hold a conversation, and I've done it a few times, most of them don't have those abs. Those abs have been photoshopped in later and things like that. Like, so don't assume everything is, like, even if you look at people who take photos of food, half the time it's not actually food that they've taken a photo of and put on their menu.
Yeah, it's all like spruced up and stuck up with different things and recolored, and it's ridiculous. It's not, again, it feeds back into that social media and marketing is like the highlight. It's the epitome. It's not reality, right? Yeah. So we got the last statement here, and it's a rough one. So this person said, I had an ex that would refer to me as fat or gross, but try to make it funny. It destroyed my self-esteem for years. How can you combat this, or how would you recommend to combat this? What do you think?
Probably to begin with, like, I'm sorry that you've had that experience. And even in that, I suppose on the ex's behalf, there's a little bit of trying to understand in that situation as well. So it could be that, like, I don't know, it can be a lot with that situation. And I guess to a certain extent, I've been in a similar boat once before. But with saying that, like, it can refer to your sexual desire for the person. Like, if you were the ex, it could be that they're finding you less desirable, which they're probably just making a pathetic attempt at trying to tell you. There's a lot better ways to go about it than them going, hey, I don't know, chunky monkey or whatever the word is that they're using. But there's a certain point with yourself where you need you can have a purpose in stopping that as well, and saying, like, hey babe, this is actually making me feel uncomfortable about it. And that may lead to great things as well. So it might mean that they do stop doing that, but it might also be that you have a conversation and maybe you go, okay, well, how am I going to feel like my ex wants, or my current partner, hopefully in that situation at the time, is saying that, like, you can work together in a way to make this work. There's a bit, I suppose, in this question which is missing, which is that start background reference. But I've been in that boat before, and probably another unhealthy thing in the gay community is people get out of a relationship. I've done it. I know one of my friends has done it as well. Most of my friends have done it. But you get out of a relationship, and all of a sudden you're like, bang, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to go to gym. I've got to lose 10 pounds, gain 10 pounds, what it is. So there's that side of it as well. Like, it's a really hard question. But if you want to change it, then, or like build your self-esteem, then start with things that you do love. And I know after, like, I broke up with my long-term ex, and something we had done through my business mentors for a while, and I just ignored them, was they spoke about, and every day you had to try and find 3 things that you loved about the day. And some days they'd be amazing things like, oh, I went out for dinner and I did this. And then other days you would be like, I got out of bed today. And that can be a good thing that you didn't stay in bed all day. That's an achievement in itself some days, especially like at the moment. I think even the other day, my housemate said, like, I don't even know why I got out of bed. Like, there's nothing for me to do.
Yeah.
But if you're even starting small and doing those little things along the way, it will help rebuild self-esteem. It will help rebuild your confidence. But ask people for help as well. There's so many people in this whole community that have amazing talents. And it might be, I don't know, you need a new hairstyle. Maybe that might change you. Think of like, I don't know, Queer Eye in some ways, even though they degrade our community a little bit as well. But like, could it be you don't know how to dress yourself properly? You've got a friend who knows how to really dress and present for their body. Maybe they can help you a bit. And step by step, if you break it down and have all these little things, over time, you will rebuild your self-esteem. It doesn't have to be overnight. It doesn't have to be in 3 months. But you do need to recognize what are those parts that you're going to love about yourself to begin with. And it can start off so small.
Yeah. It's also, it's a process, and you're so right in saying that process can take anywhere from weeks to months to years to kind of pull out those things about yourself that your achievements or things you enjoy. I have a very strong opinion on this. Like calling your partner these kind of things is a solid no. Some relationships, their sense of humor is different, but as their partner, you would then realize, you would at least see the impact to this person's self-esteem. And it takes a lot of courage to be able to say, no, that's not enough. Like Aaron says, I had an ex who used to do this as well, and it killed my self-confidence. And it took some time to really learn how to love myself again. But I had to remind myself that I'm smart and I'm kind and I'm important. I love that saying. And I'm attractive. And you have to be able to like stand up for yourself in that regard. Like one of my favorite sayings, apart from just do better, one of my favorite sayings is the only behavior that continues is the behavior that you allow. So if people are doing things to you or saying things to you, it only continues if you allow it to. You can either have that conversation with them, or you can just remove them from your life altogether. One of my favorite hobbies is cutting people off, if you hadn't realized.
But don't be afraid to take risks either. So like when I was probably feeling a bit this way when I got out of my long-term relationship, but in terms of like, we were together God knows how many years, and by the end of it, all of our friends were each other's friends. So even when that ended, and it ended on pretty good terms in some ways, but like to have that network of support and stuff, like there was this feeling that one of us was going to say something to someone and like the other was going to find out and all this kind of stuff. And I took a risk. I can't remember whose birthday it was, and I got invited to someone's birthday once at the Emerson, and I said to whoever it was at work, I really don't want to come. I don't feel comfortable in it. I don't really know people. And unfortunately, fortunately, I did go. Unfortunately, the day I became friends with Gavin. But from there, like my life's changed 100%. Like I have the most amazing friendship circle now. Like, yes, we make fun. Yes, we poke fun at each other for like our poor qualities and stuff as well. But to think of where I am now compared to where I was 3 and a bit years ago when all that ended, I am not the same person that I was. And so don't be afraid to go out and take a risk as well. Don't just sit there and think you're by yourself. There's some amazing people that are all around our community. We might be drunk retards on the weekend. We might do some stupid things from time to time, but we aren't all that scary. Whether you're in a venue, whether you see people on Chapel Street, whether you, I don't know, have us on Facebook or Instagram or stuff. We can't always communicate with you. Like work-wise, my life can be horrible at times, but don't be like, we're all in this together. So don't be afraid, no matter if we're talking about body image or racism last week and things like that. Just have conversations with people. There's some fantastic people. We've also said tonight there is some toxic people. So if you're in one of those toxic situations, hopefully there is someone else out there that you can find and help re-energize and get your life back on track.
Yeah, I think that that first step of confidence and being able to take a step and say, I need help, or somebody, touching base with somebody or even somebody you don't know sometimes, can make all the difference. Look, Nate, thank you so much for tonight's chat. It's been really good actually, and there's been a lot of stuff that we've talked about that I think is really important for the community to at least touch on or to discuss. Obviously, it's from the comments. It's quite it's a topic that quite a lot of people are passionate about. So it's been quite interesting.
Very much so.
Cool. Let's call it a night. Again, Nate, thanks so much for joining, even after your busy day. And also thank you for watching every week with Gav. Lord knows that hot mess needs to see some confessions. But look, yeah, have a good night, everybody. Thank you so much, Nate, and thank you everyone for joining and for all the comments. We'll see you later.
See you.